So let me just give you an example from my personal life, and if I were going to compose an opera, how I would do it and how I might structure this. So I grew up in central Kansas, and I had the great fortune of knowing both sets of grandparents growing up. And my maternal grandparents, my grandfather was a cowboy. He was an oil field worker for Texaco his whole career. Rough around the edges, but definitely the guy you wanted on your side. My grandmother was very gentle, Baptist going solo, and also a wonderful woman. And the one thing that they did very, very well together was bicker. At levels that you would not believe, okay? And I remember one time as a kid being in the kitchen in their house, and they lived in an even smaller town than we did in Kansas. And my grandpa came in from the office, which the subtext there is the one pub on Main Street in their town was called The Office, came in from the office and said to my grandmother, Mima, he said, well, I saw on the window of the grocery store that ice cream was this price. She said, I don't think that could be. How could that be? It can't be that price. He said, well, go down there and argue with that sign. Now I understand this to be great operatic material because there was something that actually advances a story, okay? It lays something out there. We understand a story. There's a tension point, which we absolutely have to have for it to be effective dramatically. And so that's kind of a recitative, right? Something is presented, there's an idea, there's a conflict, something happens. Well then, can you imagine the arias that could bring forth? My grandfather could have a rage aria called I Know What I Saw. My grandmother could have an aria, Oh Dio, how am I married to such a moron?